Task 11.14 in your textbook on page 446. Okay, we are doing the age analysis. This is for Woody's Fashions and for the data Helen Nkosi. You see right on the top it says their policy is that if goods are returned, these must be returned within 2 days of purchase. Okay, so remember I left these notes from the previous exercise here. Invoices we allocate to the month of sale to also follow the date. Receipts must be allocated to the oldest balance first, and returns must be allocated to the same amount as the invoice. Okay, also in this case it has to be because of 2 days, the returns policy. Okay, so the date is 15th June 20.8. We need to prepare an age analysis for Helen Nkosi. If you look at our statements, we've been given statements for the month of March, April, May. Okay, so basically we're doing it on 15th of June for the past. So that means we're going to be doing it for the month before June, which is May, April, March, and February. So our current will be the month of May, 30 days plus will be April, 60 days plus will be March, and 90 days plus will be February and before February. Okay, so remember, like the previous question, we're going to be doing the workings column first. So you may need to use the bottom of page 64 in your workbook. There is a bit of space there. If you want to do it in the column, there's nothing wrong with you just doing it in a horizontal format as well, but it just makes it look a little bit complicated. Okay, so what we're going to do is I just want to show you guys the balance, right? So if you look at the last statement that you have, which is the statement on 25th of May, the balance right at the bottom, so on the bottom right corner of page 447 is 13,760. So this is actually the answer that we're going to have here is our total 13,760, and once we do all of this, it must work out to 13,760. Okay, now we're going to start on the top. So from the first statement on 25th of March, we're going to use the figure. This is the only time you use the figure from the balance column. So the balance is 1,500 and it's brought forward from the month of February. So we're going to put it in our February column, 1,500. Okay, so this is how much Helen was owing from the month of February. Okay, then we have on the 7th of March an invoice for 5,100. Remember, invoices must be allocated to the actual month, so we're going to put that in the March column, 5,100. We then have a credit note of 240, and because of this business's returns policy, it must be returned within 2 days. The return also has to have happened for the invoice in the month of March, so we're going to subtract the return from the 5,100. Okay, so 240. We then have a receipt of 1425. So this debtor actually paid 1425. Okay, we will not allocate it to the month of March because there was money outstanding for the month of February. So we're going to subtract it from the February balance. And then we gave her a discount of 75 Rand. Okay, probably a settlement discount. So we're going to subtract 75 Rand there. Now if you look at that, the balance now becomes 0. So now that means that Helen Nkosi is not owing any more money for the month of February. Any payments she now makes after this will be allocated to the month of March until the March balance is settled. Okay, let's go on. Okay, the next thing after the 75 Rand discount is an invoice on the 22nd of March for 3,200. Okay, remember invoices are allocated to the actual month, so in the March column. We then have a receipt of 2,000 Rand on the 25th of March. Now February is settled, so we'll allocate the receipt to the month of March minus 2,000 and the discount of 100, so we'll allocate it also to the month of March. Okay, let's go ahead now. Now in the next statement, we don't worry about the balance brought down, we just go straight into the figures. Now on the 27th of March, there's a dishonored check. So it means that this check here, which we deducted, has now been returned. So that means if the debtor is owing us the money again, we're going to add back 2,000 Rand. And we're going to cancel the discount that we've previously given. So we're going to add back 100 Rand. There's an invoice now on the 27th of March for 3,000. So we'll put that in the month of March because that's what the date is, 27th of March. Okay, then we're going on to 5th of April. There's a receipt of 1,200. Okay, now this debtor is obviously still owing money from the month of March, so the receipt will be allocated to this month. Okay, then we have on the 15th of April an invoice of 4,400, okay, which must be allocated to the April column. Okay, a return or credit note. Okay, remember returns can only happen within 2 days, so also to April minus 380. And then we have a receipt of 1,300. He's still owing money for the month, she's still owing money for the month of March. So we're going to subtract the receipt from that month, 1,300. Okay, then we're going to carry on to the next statement. The first thing we have is an invoice on the 1st of May of 850. So we're going to place that in the May column, 850. We then have a return, which is probably for that same invoice. So we're going to subtract 170. We have a receipt of 600. Now this debtor is still owing money for March, so we're going to allocate it to March's balance first. Okay, and another receipt of 1,000, which will still be allocated to March. Okay, we then have a dishonored check of 1,000 Rand. Okay, now this dishonored check, okay, 1,000, the payment was allocated to March, so we also cancel it in March, so 1,000. And then the last thing we have is an invoice on the 24th of May, which will be placed in the May column of 1,100. Okay, now all we do now is work out the totals. So in March we have a total, okay, if we work everything out, 7,960. In April, 4,020, and in May, 1,780. Now these balances here will go to the age analysis in the relevant column. So 1,780 is going to go to the current column. Current. Okay, so 1,780 here. 30 days plus will be the April amount of 4,020. And 60 days plus will be the March amount of 7,960. Okay, and 90 plus days, which is February, was 0, so you don't have to put anything in there. Okay, now we're going to total these amounts. So 7,960, 4,020, and 1,780, and that will give us 13,760, which is the same as the final balance on the May statement, okay, which is what we need it to be. Okay, we're now going to work out the percentages. Remember, we're going to treat this as 100%, and then we're going to work out each amount as a percentage of that. Okay, so we're going to take 1,780 divided by 13,760 gives us 13%. We're going to do 4,020 divided by 13,760, which gives us 29%. 7,960 divided by 13,760, and that gives us 58%. If you add up these three percentages, you will get an answer of 100%, and that's what we need it to be to make sure that we've done everything correctly. So this data has 13% of the balance owing for the current month, 29% owing for 30 plus days, and 58% owing for 60 plus days. And that's obviously not a good thing, because all her balances should be in the 30 days column or the current column. Okay, so when we answer the question, okay, so charging from this account, is Woodies Fashion handling the debtors properly? So again, we're going to say no, they are not handling the debtors correctly. They have allowed Helen to exceed the normal credit terms. She's paying erratically and her checks are bouncing. There 2 checks have been dishonored. Okay, remember, a sign of an RD check is always a sign of a poor payer or bad debtor. Okay, so it's something that we need to watch out for. We should also not accept checks from her in the future. They allowed her to return goods on 10th May, 9 days after the purchase, and this is going against their own policy. Okay, so what advice should we give? We must charge interest on accounts in the 60 plus days category, offer a bigger discount for prompt payment, do not allow debtors to buy on credit if their accounts are not up to date, and screen debtors better before allowing them to open accounts. Right? You can put in anything else like this, like not not allow debtors to pay by check, etc. Whatever you like, as long as it makes sense, and also that depending on the marks allocated in the question. Okay, that's all. I'll also be doing task 11.15 with you and 11.16 on this section. Bye.